Good morning, children, and welcome back to our online class of computer applications. Children, in the previous class, chapter 5, I explained about operators in Java. So, hope you have understood that. Based on that chapter, we have multiple programs which will come later on. Okay, first we'll complete some theoretical part, then we'll be focusing on the programming section. So children, today I'm going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 6, and the name of the chapter is Methods in Java. So first of all, what is methods, students? So let me tell you, methods, another name is function. Okay, another name of method is known as functions. So students, methods are also known as functions. Okay, so another name of method is functions. First of all, children, what is method? You can say method are the sub-programs, part of the programs. Like suppose you have a big programs. Every program has minimum 3 parts. That is input, process and output. Okay, every program has minimum 3 parts. That is input, process and output. Input means what we are going to ask from the user. That is input. Process means what computer is going to do. What execution is going to be performed on that input, and output is the resulted part of input, processed input, that is output. So children, what we can do, like suppose addition of 2 numbers, understand properly, okay, addition of 2 numbers. How many numbers, children? 2 numbers. So 2 number is what? Input. And if you have 2 number, you have to use plus sign in between because you need to add that. So that is known as processed. And the final result you get, that is output. So instead of doing this all 3 parts together in a single program, what we can do is we can divide the program into input section, process section, output section. So that becomes easy, children, and that is only known as methods or functions. Dividing the program into multiple subprograms. Benefits: debugging is easier. Suppose any error is there, any mistake is there. Okay, we can easily rectify that, because if there is a problem in input section, you have to just check the input function, just a piece of code written in input part you need to check. You don't have to touch the process and output section. So that is the method. This is the importance why we use method or function in our programs, to make a big or larger program into smaller different chunks, different methods, so that finding the error becomes easier. Is this clear, children? So children, once again I am just repeating whatever I have said. Method, another name is functions. It is a type of program, you can say sub-program, okay, which makes our program understanding easier. That means the larger or the bigger programs are divided into multiple small chunks. Means the work is grouped. Okay, this section grouped there, this section grouped there, so different group is there. Benefits: rectifying the errors, finding the fault is easier in case of method or functions. Now see, children, some terms related to method or function which we need to know, okay, before doing the programs. So see this. See children, now some terms which are very important, which we need to know before going in the programming sections. So children, first of all, method, prototype and method signatures. Method is another name of functions, okay. So function, prototype, function, signature, you can say. Children, prototype is full name. Okay, like you type your name. So for example, Sunil Bharti Mittal, full name. That is function prototype. Function signature is S.B. Mittal. Means initials, that signature part. That becomes method signature or method function. Method signatures or function signature. See children, I will do some, I'll write some examples, okay, what method prototype look like and how method signatures look like. So see properly. children, I have written something. Okay, see properly. In first part, in method prototype, I have written public static void. Then on function name, I took sum, and the parameter I gave is int a comma int b. In method signature, I just wrote the initial part, that is sum int a int b. Now see children, what does actually this means? Okay, so in case of function prototype, this two part is the compulsory children. Whether you write here also doesn't matter. Main thing is this one. This is return type. This is function name. This is parameter. This is you can say type, as data type, and this a and b together you can say number of argument. So children, this many information we get in function prototype or method prototypes. But in case of function signature, actually this is also not required. Okay, the name is also not required in case of function signatures. It's not that like the example I gave, Sunil Bharti Mittal is name, that it doesn't mean you have to write s.b.mittal. You can add s.b.m also. Correct. Initials, no? Or simply you can write s also. That is up to you. So here also same thing. Function name is not required, not at all importance. So what is importance? This part. That means parameter. So this total part is known as parameter. Here we get the type of parameter, which type of parameter is used, and children, one more thing we get, that is number of argument. Number of argument. So see children, this is the difference between method prototype and method signatures. See, once again I am explaining you this part. In case of method prototypes, we get the entire informations. That's why method prototypes give you like the return type, the name of the functions. Inside the parameter you get type of the parameter and number of arguments. Whereas in case of method signatures or function signature, we get the information about only parameter, where it contains the type and number of argument. You don't get the information about return type or the function name. So this is the difference between method prototype and method signatures. So children, I can see you like after these examples, the definition will be a method prototype is the first line or header of a method. It tells the compiler about the number and type of parameter that method will take and the type of data it will return. Whereas then method signatures, the list of parameters along with their data type is called method signatures. So hope you people have understood what is method prototype and what is method signatures. Okay children, so sometime like when we define the functions, okay, when we define the function we have to use method prototype, and when we call the function, like when you are using the function in actual field, you have to use method signatures. Okay, like suppose when you do registration or admissions, what you people do? You give your full name, your title, everything. But in a class, suppose a teacher is calling you, what he will or she will say? Full name? Doesn't matter. They can call you by your initial also, by your nickname also, by your first name also, by your last name also. That is a method signature. Whenever calling is there, we don't use the full name. We simply use the parameters. By that we can call. Clear children? So let us go for next some terms related to method or function. Okay children, now see the next topic what we are going to learn in this chapter is invoking a method. First of all, let me tell you, invoking means calling. Now what are the different ways of calling of functions? Just now we have learned how we define the function and how we call the function. Now the question arises, when you are calling the functions, what are the ways you are going to implement in that? So let me tell you children, like suppose if someone calls you, so your name is again example Sunil Bharti Mittal. So if someone calls you, what they can do is, they can directly call with your name, Sunil come out. Clear? Another, they can send someone, that is like they can tell to Ravi or Mohan or Karan, any other persons, that go and call that Sunil. That is a reference children. through someone. So same technique we can use in programming also. When we are calling a method, when we are calling a functions, okay, like suppose in some place you need that particular function and you need to call that. So when you are calling the function, children, you can use two different methods again, two different techniques you can use. That two different techniques are call by value and call by reference. See children, the concept is same again here also in programming also. Call by value means directly with value you can call. Okay, use the value in parameter or argument, call the functions. Finish. Another part, call by reference through someone. Now who is that someone? That someone is object. Okay, that someone is object. If apple is there in your home, suppose you can say, no, I want to eat apple, correct? That is a value. Another thing you can say, I want to eat fruit. That is also correct. But here fruit is what? Reference. That is not directly you are pointing to apple. You are saying fruit. Now it can be apple, it can be mango, it can be oranges. But when you are using a value, directly you are pointing to that. Again, through reference also you can point. Like you can say, I want to eat that fruit. That means you are pointing that particular fruit that you want to eat that. So here also children, the same things. In case of value, directly we can call the function by the value, by the name. And here, in call by reference, we can call the functions or methods with the help of reference. Now, this reference can be object. Okay, this reference can be object. Means through object we are calling the functions, not directly. Through someone. That is called by reference. Children, this call by reference, this call by values, they are also known as pass by value and pass by reference. Concept is same. So how you are calling, in the same way you can pass the value also. You can pass the value directly also, you can pass the value through reference also. Okay, so invoking means calling. So whenever we call the function to utilize that in our programs, okay, like say input functions are always called in process. Input functions are always called in process, then only you can calculate, and process part is called in output, then only you can display. So calling is required, again passing is also required. Children, input values is actually passed to the process na? If someone will call me but I will not pass, no use. So calling and passing both goes simultaneously. So calling or passing any methods, you can use two different techniques, that is reference and value directly. Okay children, so see this example once again. So we can call the methods by two different way, that is through value and through reference. Okay, it is up to you what technique you are using in a program. Clear children? Now let us see some more terms related to method or functions. So see the next terms, that is user defined types of methods. So what does it means? Actually method are also of two different types. Okay, it can be a static method, it can be non-static. So static are known as class method, non-statics are known as instance method. So children, you can see here user defined types of method are also two different types, static and non-static. Static are the class and non-static are the instance. Now what does it differentiate actually? So static means you have to always define with static, like here public static void main, and here in case of non-static we declare public void main. Children, both are the ways, both are correct also. In both way you can do the programs, no problems. Only the difference you get, this static, here we are using the keyword static part. So when we use the keyword static, this becomes the class functions, class methods. So when class method is there, directly it execute. Compiler directly knows that this is the main functions or this is any functions, and compiler will execute and display the output. Okay, means directly the compiler will know this one. Directly it will be called. Whereas when we use non-static, that means instance, nothing we have to write, okay, blank. So when we compile this one, children, compiler will not understand these things. The main function or any function will not display directly. We have to use instance or duplications. We have to create an instance of this one, a duplicate of this one, object of this one. Then only we can run the programs. That means, students, when static is there, directly it's calling, that's called by value. Here, called by reference. You can say this is the example also. Okay, children. So when we use a static methods, in that case what happens, like that is a class method, so compiler directly knows it, and with the help of value it will be compiled and finally we get the outputs. But if you use a non-static, that means an instance method, in that case compiler will not know that. So with value it cannot call. So when you compile, first of all it needs a reference, that is object. It will create an object or instance, then only the particular part will be compiled and output will be generated. Children, if you have computer and all, computer or laptop, you can try this program, any program, addition of two numbers only. You can write public static void main, compile and check the output. You can use public void main, compile and check the output. You will find in public void main, you need to create the instance. So when you create the instance, at the bottom of BlueJ you get a red icons. So when you right click that red icons, you will get the void main. Directly void main are not displayed. Whereas in case of static, void mains are displayed directly. So this is the two different types of method which are user defines, which we decides how to write. Is this clear, children? Children, now you can see the next topic we have is parameters. So just now I have explained, like public static void main, and inside the bracket if you write int a, int b, that is known as parameter. So children, in the programming, this parameter writing way is also two types, because invoking is two types. So definitely parameter will be also two different types. Actual and formal. So as the name says, children, actual means the original, which we ask from the user. The value will be asked from the user on which you are going to operate. Okay, that is the actual parameter. Whereas, children, formal parameters are the copied of the actual parameter. We pass this one. Okay, in some calculations we require, so we need to pass the actual parameter to formal parameters. Actual parameter is passed to the formal parameters, and formal parameter use that value and calculate. So what we can say, this is the user value, and this is the copied value. So user value where we ask, method, calling time, formal value, method, defining time or definition type. So these are the important value. So children, some points we need to know in case of actual and formal parameters. So see this properly first. In case of actual parameters, the values are asked from the user. We ask the value from the user. So any changes if you make in an actual parameter, that is going to be affect in formal parameter. Whereas any changes if you make in a formal parameter will not affect the actual parameter. Once again I am saying, children, this is a very important point. Any changes if you make in an actual parameter will affect the formal parameter, whereas changes made in formal parameter will not affect the actual parameter. Okay, so these are the two different ways of defining or declaring the parameters. In actual, we ask from the user the main values on which we are going to operate. Formal are the copied values of the actuals, okay, which we pass during the programming sections. So children, any changes if you make in an actual, that is going to be affect in the formal, because that same value is going to be copied. Whereas any changes if you make in formal is not going to be affect in actual, because this is the copied one, it is not the original. This is clear children? So see the next. So see next, variables and their scope. So first of all children, what is variables? Variables are the containers, identifier, where we place the values. So here in this topic, we have to understand variable and their scope. Variable we know. Now what is scope? Scope means their life, up to how much that is known to the compiler, and what are the uses of that particular variables. Children, variables, you will get three different types. Local variable, parameter variable, and instance variable. So children, there are three different types of variables we use in a program: local variable, parameter variable, and instance variable. Now what are the differences between these three and what are their work accordingly? So see this property children, I am explaining you. First of all, local variable. Local variable are those variables that are declared within a method or a block. Means their life is within a pair of curly bracket. Whereas parameter variable, formal argument that receive the values passed by actual arguments are known as parameters. Instance variables, it refers data members of an object in a class. In case of instance variables, separate memory will be allocated to each object. So children, these are the technical definition. Now practically let us understand what is local variable, what is parameter variable, and what is instance variable. So local variables means within this curly bracket. If I write here int a, this a is what? Local variable. After this curly bracket, if you try to find out a here, not possible. Unknown variable. Name will be not known, because that is that life is within the pair of curly bracket. That is local variables. Now parameter variables, here method call and method definitions, both are there, because in method call we ask and in method definition we pass. Okay, this is the type of parameter, the arguments it comes. That means in method calling we ask the value from the user, method definition we pass. So see, asking and passing. So this is the life. That is the scope, work of the particular variable. Instance. Instance variables are declared always after the like class name is there. Then here we need to declare int p, suppose, then void main. So see children, instance variables are always declared in between class and methods. In between class and method. So that what happens, this variable will be known to these functions. Again we have say suppose another ABC function is there. So this will be known to here also. Means in entire program, anywhere we can use this instance variables, because a separate memory is allocated. Okay, this P is neither in functions. Okay, not in any functions. It is a class, you can say inside the class directly it has been defined. So a separate memory has been allocated for these variables, and this variable will be known to multiple functions, means anywhere but within the program, within that particular class. So children, there are three different types of variables: local variables, parameter variables, and instance variable. And what are their uses, where they are used, and what are their scope? You can just see this board, you will understand from here. Local variables limited to curly bracket. Parameter variables from method call to method definitions, means asking value to passing value. Third, instance variable, they are defined in between class and functions, and their life is within that particular class. That means they can be used in multiple methods, multiple functions you can use. So these are the three different types of variables and their scope. Hope children, you have understood this part. This is all about this chapter. So theoretical part, children. So in the programming section, I'm not going through right now. Let me complete some of the theory, more concept, okay, more theory concepts. So after that, we'll move to programming part only. I'll be giving you multiple programs, multiple homeworks also. So first of all, you should understand the theory concepts. What are these terms? How they are used? Okay, children. So see this video multiple times. Okay, try to understand. You can even refer to your book also. It is chapter 6. Okay, and try to understand the concept of these methods and functions.